Hello students, this is our physics class and we are dealing with the topic optics. In our first two sessions, we discussed the introduction, reflection, formation of spherical mirrors and the image formation by spherical mirrors for different object distances. I suggested you all to practice the image formation ray diagram, and for marking the points F and C, I have told you to take the distance F, focal length half that of the R. So in today's session we'll see why the focal length F has to be taken half of the distance R, radius of curvature. Means today we'll derive the relation between F and R, and this may be will derive the relation between F and R, and this may be asked for 3 marks in the exam. We are deriving this relation by taking a concave mirror, but it holds good for convex mirror also. Now we'll see the ray diagram. We'll consider a concave mirror. For ray diagram, we have to first draw the principal axis and we have to mark the points such as pole of the mirror, principal focus and center of curvature. Consider a ray of light AB parallel to the principal axis. Ray AB parallel to the principal axis. B is the point of incidence on the mirror. Now from the definition of principal focus, any parallel ray incident on a mirror after reflection passes through the principal focus. So by that we can write AB is the incident ray, a paraxial ray, incident ray. After reflection it passes through the principal focus. So BF is our reflected ray. BF is the reflected ray passing through F. And to measure angle I and R, to measure angle of incidence and angle of reflection, we need normal to the surface, because angle of incidence is angle between incident ray and normal to the surface, as well as angle of reflection is angle between the normal to the surface and reflected ray. So for that we require normal to the surface. Now what is normal to the surface? It is a perpendicular line drawn at the point of incidence. It means B is the point of incidence. We have to draw a perpendicular line at the point of B. Now how to draw the perpendicular? As you all know, a concave mirror or a convex mirror is a part of a sphere. Now any line which joins the center to the point on the sphere is always perpendicular to that point. So we have to join the center to the point B, which is nothing but the equal to radius, as well as it is perpendicular to the point B. To measure, how you measure the angle of incidence? It is between ABC is angle I and CBF is angle R. Angle I and angle R. Now we'll come on to the derivation to write the equation. The first equation is angle ABC will be equal to angle CBF. Angle ABC equal to angle CBF. It is from the laws of reflection, angle I is equal to R. As I and R both are equal, we are taking a common notation theta. Instead of I and R, instead of both I and R, we are taking a common notation theta. So we are taking ABC is equal to CBF is equal to theta. Then look at the positions of these angles ABC and BCP. ABC and BCP. These two angles are alternate to each other, so you can equate them as ABC is equal to theta. Your BCP also becomes equal to theta. This is you are writing your second equation. Now the third equation is angle ABF. So angle ABF includes both I and R. So your ABF becomes a theta and theta, that is 2 theta, which is equal to BFP. BFP. They are alternating angles, so you can write ABF is equal to BFP, which is equal to 2 theta. Now, to derive further, we are taking some approximations. That is, for small angles, we are considering the point B is very close to the principal axis. The incident ray is very close to principal axis, so that the point B is very close to P. If it is very close to P, it is almost considered as straight line, almost considered as perpendicular to the principal axis, so that your angles BFP or BPF becomes a right angle triangle, as well as another angle BPC becomes a right angle triangle. So for this we are making an approximation that the point B is considered very close to the point P, as well as another approximation that we are making is for small angles tan theta is nearly equal to theta. Tan theta is nearly equal to theta. So with this approximation, we can write the trigonometric function tan function to both the angles theta and 2 theta. We write the trigonometric function tan for both the angles theta and 2 theta. Now in the first triangle, in the first right angle triangle BPC, BPC, tan theta is nearly equal to theta, which is equal to, how do you write the tan function? It is opposite upon base, opposite BP upon CP, opposite upon base. Let us denote this as equation 1. Let us denote this equation as 1. Now, the second equation that we are taking is, we are writing the tan function for the angle 2 theta for the triangle, right angle triangle BPF. So for the right angle triangle BPF, tan 2 theta is nearly equal to 2 theta, which is equal to, again opposite upon base, BP upon FP, BP upon FP. We'll take this as equation 2. Now, in this theta, substitute the value of theta in equation 2 from 1. So in this equation 2, instead of theta value, we'll substitute the theta value from equation 1, so that it becomes 2 BP by CP is equal to BP by FP, BP by FP. So 2 BP by CP is equal to BP by FP. So we can write, so from the numerator the BP get cancels, it becomes 2 1 upon Cp is equal to 1 upon Fp. So Cp, the distance from center of curvature to the pole, is nothing but radius of curvature. Fp, the distance from principal focus to the pole, is focal length f. So if you substitute the values, it is 2 1 upon r is equal to 1 upon f. If you cross multiply, you are going to get 2f is equal to r, or you can write f is equal to r by 2. This equation gives you the relation between the focal length and radius of curvature. Even though we are deriving this equation by using concave mirror, this also holds good for convex mirror. And one more point I want to tell to the students, that most of the students will by heart the ray diagram. Don't do that. Don't by heart the ray diagram as well as the derivation. Just try to remember the key points of the derivation. Automatically the remaining points you will write. So here in this derivation, the key point is the concave mirror you are using. Any mirror if you use, your first job is to draw the principal axis, mark the pole, principal focus, center of curvature. These are the basic points that you need to draw in a ray diagram related to mirror. Then in this particular derivation, you are considering only one ray parallel to the principal axis. That is the first key point that you have to remember. One ray you have to consider parallel to principal axis. Then automatically a ray parallel to principal axis will pass through the principal focus. You will draw automatically. Then the second key point is you have to mark the angle I and R. You have to mark the angle I and R. This is the second key point. To mark I and R, you require the normal. Then automatically you will draw this line to mark I and R. And this is how your ray diagram is completed. Now after the completion of ray diagram, the third key point for this derivation you have to remember is you have to write the tan functions for the angles at C and F. You have to write the trigonometric function tan for the angle at C and at F. Then to get the angle at C and F, you will write these equations by yourself. So only these 3 points you remember, and try to derive this equation without seeing the notes. Wherever you miss, just have a glance and again continue.